Hey there, welcome back to the Destination Baby and Kids YouTube channel. This is Gina, I am your host, and I am so thrilled to be here with you today to go over and compare two fabulous double travel stroller options. But before we do that, if you haven't liked, if you haven't followed, and you haven't subscribed, I am gonna ask you to do that now. Super important. The more we can grow this channel as a community, the more likely it is that I'm gonna be able to get my hands on these products sooner rather than later. And that way you get these comparison videos sooner rather than later. So again, if it makes sense, go ahead, like, follow, subscribe. Also, if it makes sense to share this video with any of your friends or family, go ahead and share it. Share it is caring. Also, if it makes sense, if you're inspired by this video and you think, golly, I'd love to see that stroller in a different color, or I'd love to see what accessories I could buy with it, head over to my website, destinationbabykids.com. I'm a legitimate, for real store in the greater Bay Area of California, so close to San Francisco, and we can ship anything out directly to your home. You can have it right there at your home ASAP. So go ahead and head over to destinationbabykids.com, my website, if you end up wanting to buy any one of these bad boys. Okay, so let's launch into what we are looking at. What are we looking at? We are looking at the NUNA TRVL dubl as well as the UppaBaby MINU duo. So these are two fabulous options for side-by-side double strollers, great for traveling, great for everyday use, great for kids of the same ages, great for kids of different ages, and both can be used from birth, right out of the box. So lots to discuss. Let's launch right in. Okay, so I do have a cheat sheet, thankfully, that's gonna go over a lot of this. And again, if it makes sense after the video to leave a question or a comment, go ahead and do that down there and I will do my best to answer them. I'm just scooting in slightly. Hopefully I don't cut off my head. I've been known to do that in the past. All right, so what are we looking at? This gray stroller on my left, your right, in granite. This is gonna be the TRVL dubl, and I'm actually gonna scoot these around because my information is actually organized the other way. So now that I've switched them around, the TRVL dubl is gonna be on my viewer's left. It's on my right, this gray one here, the little Canopies reads NUNA on the side. So that's, again, good indication that it is a NUNA TRVL dubl. And then what we're looking at right here is gonna be the UppaBaby MINU duo. So MINU duo is a brand new side-by-side double. And UppaBaby and NUNA are sort of the two premium brands when it comes to a lot of baby stuff. Now, they're not the only premium brands, but if I were to compare them like cars, I would say this is very much like a BMW versus a Mercedes. So high-end, fabulous, tons of features, but what is gonna make one different than the other? Okay, so let's launch into that. MINU duo cost, it's gonna cost us a little bit less. It's gonna be a $649 starting price point. And again, all of this price is subject to change. Tariffs, all kinds of different things are changing. Great. So again, pricing is somewhat fluid, but the current price is $649. Current price on the TRVL dubl is gonna be $850. So yes, TRVL dubl is more expensive, but I would argue it does come with more, and it is ready to go for some things that we would actually have to purchase separately on MINU duo. Not a problem, but just differences, okay? The size, as you can see, TRVL dubl is larger than MINU duo. So MINU duo, if I spin both of these sideways, you're gonna see handle height on TRVL dubl is gonna be higher. So the TRVL dubl handle height here is 45 inches. The handle height on the MINU duo is going to be 40.5 inches, basically 41 inches versus 45. So you got a higher handle height here on TRVL duo. Additionally, so besides that, they're both about 37 inches from front to back. TRVL dubl is 37.5. This one is just 37. And then TRVL dubl is also slightly wider. TRVL dubl is going to be 30.5 inches wide. MINU duo is going to be 27.8 inches wide. So they're both very, very close in width, but I would definitely say the NUNA is slightly wider than the UppaBaby. Now, something interesting to note here is that our seat width on these products, and you guys might be able to see even from the distance, the NUNA seats are different sizes, meaning that one seat here is wider than this seat over here. If you look at the MINU duo from UppaBaby, Each seat is 11.5 inches wide. They are equivalently wide on both sides. So while that enables them to be overall narrower, I also think that this is a wise decision on their part, because when you have kids of 2 different ages or twins, the last thing that you're gonna want as they get older is for them to be arguing over who sits on which side because one seat's wider than the other. Now, conversely, your kids are probably just gonna argue anyway over all kinds of stupid stuff. So not the end of the world, but just something to note, that if you want like more equivalency or equality, you're gonna have equal sizes on MINU Duo, whereas on the Travel Double, the seats are a different size of width. Okay, so we talked about that. Warranty. There is a 3-year warranty on the MINU Duo. The Travel Double from NUNA will give you a 2-year standard warranty, which is awesome. You can put a car seat on Travel Double right out of the box. It has to be a NUNA brand infant seat, which would make sense because it is a NUNA stroller. So that is how you're gonna go ahead and put the car seat on this guy. Now, we will be able to do the same thing with MINU Duo, but I'm not gonna show it right now. One, I don't have that piece yet, but secondly, it would be a separate purchase. So again, this is a demonstrable difference directly out of the box that, hey, you know, Travel Double's more expensive. There is some built-in value here because it comes with the car seat adaptation included in the purchase price. There's a convenience to that for parents, so that's something to keep in mind with the NUNA. You're not gonna buy any extra stuff in order to make their brand car seat click directly into their stroller. So that is one feature about NUNA at the higher price point that it will include that. Now, obviously, NUNA also includes a front bar. Here on MINU Duo, you get 2 front bars, 1 for each side. Now, is that a good or a bad thing? Well, if you have kids of different ages or just kids in general, it's a little annoying to me that on NUNA we have 1 bar that covers both children. So when one is getting in or out, it does affect sort of the other one's personal space. Not the end of the world, but just something to be aware of. I'm gonna go ahead and sit the seat up. And then here we would have 2 separate bars that would be able to be operated individually, but again, it would be a separate purchase. And with MINU Duo, you can get 2 trays. With Travel Double, there is no opportunity for trays yet on this product, so it would be nice if NUNA could create that, because again, it is more expensive and not having a tray is a little bit frustrating, so just something to keep in mind. Now, the weight of both of these products is actually pretty close, but surprisingly, MINU Duo is the heavier between the two. So it's smaller. I think you would automatically assume lighter weight, but both of these have a one-handed fold. Travel Double has an easier fold, no question. You just scoot, pinch, and move your hand, and then it will fold up. Our folded dimensions here are going to be 30.5 wide, 27 3/4 tall, and 19.75 deep. So it is definitely a little bit larger fold, but it's 25 pounds, so it's super lightweight. Your opening here is super easy. It just opens up like that. There is no lock. So when we do fold Travel Double, there isn't a way to keep it locked together, and that's why I have a tendency to grab it by the front bar versus by the handle, because when it's self-standing, if you grab it by the handle, it has a tendency to just open itself up, which is great, but just something to be aware of. If we go to MINU Duo is heavier. It's 27.5 pounds. 27.4 technically, it's not 27.5, but getting close to that. It is overall a smaller fold. So if I set these immediately adjacent, you'll see this guy is a little smaller than this one. Also, if we turn it to the side, we would have, I think, that demonstration that it's a little narrower this way too, probably. But our folded dimensions here are gonna be 27.8 wide, 23.7 tall, and 12.9 deep. So that's kind of the big takeaway there. Now this guy also, unlike that one, has, oops, a little latch. So it is locked together. When I'm shaking it around, it's not gonna open unless I engage the lock and pull up. So pros and cons. One good thing would be if we want it to remain locked together, this one has a lock. A con would be I have to undo the lock to open it. So again, 6 of one, half dozen of another. Not really problematic, but just something to be aware of. Okay, now both of these strollers have awesome sunshades, which I want to hit really quickly. I would argue they both have relatively similar sun coverage. So we'll open both of these up just so everybody can see that. And they both have adjustable foot plates. So we're going to be able to adjust the footrest up. It is one-handed on MINU Duo. On Travel Double, one-handed to sit the footrest up, but to put the footrest down, it does require 2 hands. So it is more of a two-handed operation there to have that lip come down. Again, not the end of the world, but just something to be aware of. Now, both of these are going to be suitable from birth all the way through to 50 pounds per seat. The baskets are relatively similar in the amount of weight that they'll hold too. MINU Duo holds 25 and the NUNA Travel Double holds 22.5. So both very close. Now, as you see, I'm going to recline these all the way down to their deepest recline. NUNA has a turnkey recline. I don't know what they call it. I call it a turnkey, meaning that you turn it and pull, sort of toddler proof, which is kind of nice. Both of these guys recline deep enough for a new baby to lay in here from birth. So we talked about the car seat stuff. Okay, yeah, great. But let's say you had twins. How would the intention be to use it for 2 new babies coming home from the hospital? You do not use it with 2 car seats. You use it exactly as you see. You recline the seats all the way to their deepest recline. And then both of these options have an apron piece that can come up. That one's nice. Let's see, I've already kind of mangled this one. See if I can pull it out for you guys here. Okay. So apron piece comes out and then just snaps onto the interior of the seat portion itself. And these are nice. They call it a foot hood. I think apron maybe sounds a little like, I don't know, maybe not as cool. But that is going to be that piece. There is one on each side. And as I pointed out, NUNA has this identical feature. So I will give NUNA a little bit of credit. I like the snap placement on the exterior of the kid's seat fabric versus on the inside, which is what's going on with Uppa. And again, they might change that over time or have a running change if that ends up being annoying. I doubt it will be, but I can just sort of appreciate, oh, you know what? This is interesting. Okay. Yeah, when we hook it on this guy, on this interior side, it's more work to do this apron piece than the UppaBaby one. Again, not the end of the world, but I do have arthritis in my finger, so it's just like, this is interesting to me because if I ever demonstrate this for a customer, I'm gonna have to keep that in mind. But as you can see, they both have aprons that can be engaged on both sides, and that's for a newborn to just ride in there initially. As far as these reclines go, the UppaBaby looks pretty deep to me. I mean, they're both very, very deep reclines, but if I had to say which one is deeper, I would give a little bit of an advantage to the UppaBaby. Now, something else that's great is that as I talked about their canopies, they're all gonna have on the top mesh ventilation windows to be able to see what's going on with kiddo. And that would be on both products on both sides. And they both have zippers to separate the canopy away and be able to peek in and see baby. They also on the back of the seat, as I pointed out, have mesh ventilation. I would argue Uppa has maybe more mesh ventilation than the NUNA. NUNA's is a little bit smaller. Uppa's is definitely deeper, and it goes deeper on the actual seat. Magnets there, zipper here. So similar but different, just little differences. And let's talk about this too. This is that turnkey recline. The sitting up on the travel double is one of the best, meaning you can be walking, and when you want the seat to sit up, you can use your leg to just shove it up, and that will hold the position. So I don't have to physically stop what I'm doing to pull anything. I can just shove my kiddo right up and they will sit up. So I think that's a very nice feature. On MINU Duo, when I want to sit the seat up, I grab the material and I pull. So not difficult, but it does require hands versus the other guy, I was just able to use my leg. So NUNA's maybe a little more convenient that way. And again, it's more expensive, so that makes sense. They may have a little bit of a fancier feature there. Something else I would point out that's a little different is you do get a 2-position crotch piece on the seat of the UppaBaby. So that's at 2.5 and 4.5 inches. You get 1 crotch position on the travel double on each seat, and that is at 4 inches deep. So let's continue to talk about the seat sizes because I don't think I went into that. So your seat depth on MINU Duo is either 9.5 inches or 14.5 inches, depending on if you're counting the additional leg piece. So it's a very deep seat. As I talked about before, it's about 11.5 inches wide on each side. It does have a traditional plastic buckle. So we'll get into that in 1 second because the travel double has a magnetic buckle, kind of special. Additionally, you do have that 2 crotch position. As I pointed out, 2.5 and 4.5 inches. And again, for a new baby, nice to have that closer position. The harness back here is 17 inches. The harness height will go up to 15 inches. The canopy clearance here is 27.5 inches. Now, if we go over to travel double, 1 seat is going to be 11.5 inches wide. The seat that will take the car seat, which as you guys saw earlier was your right, my left. That seat is 14 inches wide. So it has 1 seat that's 11.5 and the other one that's 14. And that would accommodate, that would explain why it's like obviously wider than this one. The backrest on this guy is going to be 16.5 inches with a 15.5 inch harness height. So that is a little bit different. Your seat depth here is 14 inches deep or 9. So it's about 1/2 inch deeper seat rest on MINU Duo versus travel double, but otherwise very, very similar. And then your drop from the leg down to the bottom here is going to be 11 inches. Your crotch position is 4 inches. Your canopy clearance here is 28 inches. So from butt all the way to the top of the canopy, it's quite large, it's 28 inches. And then the basket dimensions between these guys, so this is a difference. Your MINU Duo is 9-inch opening in the back and in the front. MINU Duo has a bar that runs through the back of the basket. The basket on travel Duo or travel double is gonna be a pour opening in the front, 5 inches, and then in the back, it looks like it's 7-inch opening, but you can actually press this down and get it all the way to a 9-inch opening. It is 1 single gigantic big opening in the back of the travel double. And again, MINU Duo is going to have a bar that runs through the center. Now again, this is not the end of the world. This is just little differences between these two. As I pointed out before, your travel double will have a magnetic buckle. I will not lie, that is an incredible piece. I love the NUNA magnetic buckle, not enough to make me buy the whole stroller, but just something to be aware of that they do very, very well. So we definitely appreciate that. They both come in lots of colors. So MINU Duo comes in this Grayson or an all black called Jake. On the travel double, we have granite, which is shown here. There is also a color called cedar, which is a little more brown. And then they also do a black and tan, which is beautiful, called caviar. The other big thing to notice here is the size of the tire. The tire size on the NUNA is larger. So Do I think that this is probably a little bit more outdoor friendly? Yes, in that you will probably have to exert less energy to get this to move forward because the wheel is just physically larger. That's physics. There's less effort and energy the bigger of a tire you go that you have to exert to get the wheel to rotate. So again, they both push beautifully. They both have suspension, but the larger size here of the tire is probably going to enable you for outdoors a little bit easier of a push. And something else to notice is that your front tires on your Travel Double are lockable. So they're swiveling, but we can go ahead and lock those front tires. Whereas on MINU Duo, there is no option to lock the front tire. So a little bit of a difference there. And this is what I am talking about. I can make this tire go from swiveling to fixed. So now it won't swivel. If I wanted to walk through snow, grass, gravel, all-terrain, sand, that type of thing, maybe a little bit easier with Travel Double than MINU Duo. Now, that being said, true cost. If we were to make MINU Duo have all the stuff that's included with Travel Double, the true cost goes from $649 up to about $765. And again, that would be the 2 front bars and a car seat adapter and a rain shield, because here we get a front bar, which is basically 2 front bars, rain shield included, and car seat adapter included in the purchase price for $850. And again, here true cost to have similar would be around $764. Cup holders for either can be purchased separately for $29.99 for UPPA, $25 for NUNA. And again, they both make travel bags, $150 for the travel bag for the NUNA, which has boarding pass, and then $129 for the MINU Duo, which has their travel safe guarantee. This is just a program that they both have that will enable you to keep your stuff in great shape for when you travel. I would strongly encourage you, if you are buying these, to take them anywhere on an airplane, absolutely buy the bag, register it before you fly so that you can get the full value out of these beautiful products and make sure that their warranty stays in good standing. The other thing I wanted to point out really quickly is that MINU has a flip-flop friendly brake, meaning red to stop, green to go. On Travel Double, you press down to brake it, but you don't press it again to undo it, you actually tow it up. Now, it's not difficult, but just something to be aware of between the two. And again, both are a true one-handed fold. Super easy, both awesome. All right, if you guys have questions or comments, please feel free to leave them below. Please feel free to hit like. Please feel free to subscribe. If you want to buy either one of these, you can head on over to my website, destinationbabykids.com, and feel free to purchase either or both. Maybe one friend would like one and one would like the other. I don't know. What's going on in your life? You have to be the one to decide that. But like I said, if you have questions or comments, go ahead and leave them below. And check out the links to check out the individual products as well as all the fabulous bits and bobs that go with them. Hopefully we will see you in our next video. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate every viewer, every view. You guys are awesome. We will see you in the next video.